Well, hello everybody, welcome to Vinyl Treasures. I'm your host, Johnny G. John Galindo, coming to you live each and every Saturday, only here on Top Shelf Oldies. Want to welcome you to the May 29, 2021 Vinyl Treasure Show. It's my all 1960s show, records between 1964, some from 63, maybe 1970 tonight. It's kind of like post-Beatles. I thought I left my phone downstairs, but it was right here, so I'm a little bit out of breath on this terrible day, terrible cold day here. Almost the last day of May as we celebrate or we pay tribute to those that on Memorial Day that have given their life for us. But we have a 3-day weekend for that to reflect. But I'm here to spin my original vinyl 1960s 45s from 10 to 1 a.m. We opened up tonight. It's all 60s show with a cover tune. Originally done by the Supremes on the Motown label. You know the song "Come See About Me," but this was done by a saxophonist from Shelby, Mississippi, noted more for his 1950s releases. But this one also released on the Motown label, and I think it was out the same time, December of 64, I think, was the release date of the Supremes record also. But this is Choker Campbell's Big Band from December 64, and I also his instrumental version of "Come See About Me." He also had a Motown LP. I think it was called "Hits of the 60s," which I do not have, and I don't think you're going to hear big hits tonight. You'll hear flip sides of big hits tonight, and I do have some requests that I'll be featuring tonight, but let's open up the vocal portion now. Oh, by the way, I just heard last minute, so Hi-Fi Tim can grill me over this. I can't play any B.J. Thomas 45s. I would love to do that, but unfortunately, Charlene told me that he passed away. When I signed up I went on Facebook, I saw it there, so unfortunately, B.J. Thomas has passed away. I think he was 78 years old. Horrible thing, but I'll maybe for next week, I do have some pretty cool early 60s stuff by the Triumphs, but we'll listen to that. But anyway, let's start it off here, the vocal portion. In Detroit, here, this group discovered by former disc jockey Ollie McLaughlin, who signed them to his Karen record label where they had 10 releases, and this was their fourth. This charted number 79 on Cashbox, 65 on Billboard, 26 on the Billboard R&B charts, but a big number 8 record on WJLB. Out of Detroit, Michigan, it features Sam George on lead. We open up from October 1966. Give a listen to the Capitals on the Karen label. It's called "We Got a Thing Going That's in the Groove," for sure.
So hip, it'll make you move.
We open up with the Capitals. They're the Capitals from October 1966 on the Karen record label, sounding a little bit like Cool Jerk, but it's not. It's not the Cool Jerk. It's called We Got a Thing Going. That's in the groove. Johnny G playing all original grooves tonight on my 45s here. And Sam George, he was the lead singer. Unfortunately, Sam George, he was murdered March 17th of 1982. He was 39 years old. He was stabbed in a domestic dispute, unfortunately. He left us at a young age, but left us with some great tunes. Johnny G here on a Saturday evening and spinning original vinyl 1960s here. This next artist, this gal originally from Shreveport, Louisiana. She would later locate to Los Angeles, California. Her real name was Betty Jean Champion, but she recorded as Betty Swan. Her biggest hit was from 1967. I'm sure many of you know her big hit called Make Me Yours. I have Make Me Youre on my write-up, but that was her fourth release on the Money label. But let's give a listen to her seventh and final release on the Money label. It's a song she wrote. This charted number 24 on WYLD in New Orleans, Louisiana. Let's go back to March 1968. Miss Betty Swan. Betty Swan on the Money label. It's called Don't Take My Mind.
To deceive. Mama tried to tell me, but I didn't believe. Something about you that put me on a string. For your tender love, I gave up everything. Too late, now I'm aware. I'm not the only girl that has your tender love. Yeah, you took my love, money and time. Please have mercy, baby. Don't take my man. You don't care for me. Still you get jealous when I talk to other fellas. You got another girl somewhere. Your love I have to share. You live here, you go there. You won't let me go nowhere now. Baby, please. It's too much to take. It's driving me insane. I try to calm myself, but all in vain. I've given you all I can't afford. That's not enough, baby. You still want more, but baby, all that's left is my sanity. Don't take that away from me. You took my love, money and time. Please have mercy, baby. Don't take my mind.
That's Ms. Betty Swan there. That's her final single on the Money label, March 1968. Don't Take My Mind is the name of that tune. Let's continue here on the All 60s edition. And on last month's 60s show, I played the debut single by the Fifth Dimension, that intended A-side. It was called I'll Be Loving You Forever. Came out on Johnny Rivers' Soul City record label, and the tune written by Willie Hutchinson. He also wrote the flip side, and it's also a pretty cool tune from October of 1966. It features Billy Davis Jr. on lead. This one on the Soul City record label, the Fifth Dimension, with their tune. It's a B-side. It's called Train Keep On Movin'.
Train
That's the debut single there for the Fifth Dimension. Not really sounding like the Fifth Dimension, as Jeff mentions, Platypus Jeff mentions in the Top Shelf Oldies chat, October 1966. On the Soul City record label, Train Kept On Movin'. That is the B-side of the 45. We continue here on the All 60s edition. Let's send this next tune out to Bopper Boy Warren. I think he asked me to play this off one of my spontaneous pop-up shows that I did maybe about a month ago, I think, or a little bit longer now. This group is out of Los Angeles, California. They were basically an offshoot of the 1950s group, the Sharps. The group consisted of Al Frazier, John Harris, Carl White, and Turner Wilson. Collectively, they were known as the Rivingtons, have a number of releases on the Liberty label, but they did 3 on the VJ record label. This is their second. It features Carl White on lead. We go back to December of 1964. VJ Records, these are the Rivingtons. We'll send it out to Warren. It's called Years of Tears.
Weeks of pain, months of sorrow, dear tears. If what's ahead is like a past, I know tears down through the years until my last. This one-way love affair must end. I was meant to be shared. Can't love alone, but I'm all on my own. Weeks of pain, months of sorrow, tears what's ahead is like the past. I know tears down through the years until my last. So let's go now. Break your heart in two. Been living so many years of tears. Can't stop wanting you. Weeks of pain, months of sorrow, year of tears with each tomorrow. Weeks of pain, months of sorrow, year of tears with each tomorrow. Weeks of pain, months of sorrow, year of tears with each tomorrow. Weeks of pain, months of sorrow, year of tears with each tomorrow.
We'll send that one out to Warren there. The Rivingtons, December 1964 release on Vivian Carter's VJ record label. Carl White with the high-tone voice there. Song entitled Years of Tears. We'll get the flip side on the next 60s show from Mark Speck, as he's looking to hear the flip side of that 45. Johnny G here on a Saturday evening, a rainy day today, rainy and cold day. I think tomorrow's supposed to be the same, at least here in New York City, but we got the music tonight. Let's continue here. Another 45 I played on last month's 60s show was by Pat Lewis on the Golden World record label, the song called Can't Shake It Loose, and she was previously a member of the Adorables that also had releases on the Golden World record label. Let's give a listen to the flip side here before we file this one back down in the No Humidity basement. This one came out in February 1966. Golden World Records out of Detroit, Michigan. Miss Pat Lewis. Pat Lewis, it's called Let's Go Together.
People say that you're homely and don't like anything, but I know that you're lonely, and I could make your heart sing.
That little part there reminds me of Love Makes a Woman by Barbara Acklin. You can hear it there a little bit, but that's a cool tune. Pat Lewis, February 1966 on the Golden World record label. Let's Go Together is the name of the tune. I had another one picked out on Solid Hit that I was going to feature, but I just couldn't fit it in tonight. We'll see how long we go here on a Saturday evening. Let's continue here. Up next, the group that would eventually record as Tavares in the 1970s had some big hits on the Capitol label, but they were born and raised in Providence, Rhode Island, but would later relocate to New Bedford, Massachusetts. They recorded 2 for the Capitol label. This is their first with Antone Lee Tavares on lead. This charted regionally. This was a big number 10 record on WPRO in Providence, Rhode Island, local to where they knew of this group here. January 1967, Chubby and the Turnpikes here on the Capitol label. It's called I Didn't Know the Inside Story.
Been telling all your friends since your love's been gone. It's not your fault things worked out wrong. You're acting like an angel, you're a devil in disguise, but you can't fool me, I'm a little too wise. I know the inside story. I know who ran around. I know the inside story. Who couldn't be found when the chips were down? How can you say you done him right when all you ever do was run around all night? And when he came begging for your romance, you turned him down without half a chance. I know the inside story. I know who ran around. I know the inside story. Who couldn't be found when the chips were down? And now since you lost a real good man, you tell him lies to hide your shame. I know the inside story. I know who ran around. I know the inside story. Who couldn't be found when the chips were down? I know the inside story. I know who ran
So Reed, wait a second. I'm reading what Reed wrote in the chat room here about this record. Where did it go? What did you say about the title here? The promos say incorrectly, I didn't know. Let's see. That's correct. It says I didn't know. Is that supposed to be I know the inside story? Isn't that weird? I didn't know, as the record says. It should say, I know the inside story. Anyway, that's a cool tune. Chubby and the Turnpikes there. Chubby is Antone Lee Tavares, the lead singer there with the Turnpikes, January 1967. I guess it's supposed to be, yeah, and that's what they sing. I know the inside story. That's what the stock copies have, I guess. Didn't know that. Johnny G here, learning stuff on a Saturday evening. Usually I'm hopefully teaching others, but listen, I do not know all, and I'm glad to find out all new things. That is the spice of life. Let's continue here. We head to Chicago, Illinois, with a 45 by Jerry Butler's younger brother and that is Billy Butler here. He formed a group called the Enchanters while attending high school and had their first release on the OK record label in 1963. He has 4 solo releases on the Brunswick label. Let's give a listen to his first. Produced by Carl Davis, this charted number 24 on WABQ in Cleveland, Ohio. Let's all go back to November of 1966. Give a listen to Billy Butler on the Brunswick label. The tune is called Sweet Darling.
Sweet darling, my heart is calling. Sweet darling, to you my heart is calling. Come and ease my trouble and mine. Stop my poor heart from crying. Darling, for you, sweet darling, ooh, baby. Sweet darling, I wonder can you hear me? Sweet darling, girl, I want you near me. Come and help my troubled heart. Stop it, girl, from falling apart. Darling, for you, sweet darling, now baby. Sweet darling, sweet, sweet darling, sweet darling, my nose is widely open. Sweet darling, my words are plainly spoken. Now girl, you know that I love you, and I know that you love me too, but you keep me calling for you, sweet darling, sweet, sweet darling, sweet darling, sweet, sweet darling, sweet darling, sweet darling, sweet, sweet darling, you know that I love you, baby, sweet darling, sweet darling, sweet, sweet darling.
We'll send that one out to Andrew Turner in our YouTube chat room there. That's Billy Butler there. Cool. Actually, Mark, you're right. I didn't know. I had to decide which side I wanted to play because both sides are excellent in my opinion. November 1966 released, the first of 4 on the Brunswick label by Billy Butler. Sweet Darling is the name of the tune. I want to know how Hi-Fi Tim's 45 of that plays. I don't want to hear about the MP3. I want to hear about the 45 version, not a copied picture on Twitch. And we'll see how some of Hi-Fi Tim's MP3s play. They don't play so good, Tim. Some of them play good, the ones you extract off my show. But anyway, let's continue here on the Vinyltreasure Show. We go to Philadelphia, PA. This is a request for Evan Blatt. This group started recording in 1961 for the local Gowan record label. Then they signed with Gamble Records in 1966. They found success with the writers Leon Huff and Kenny Gamble. Of course, it's his record label, or their record label too. But this was the group's first of 24 releases, believe it or not, on the Gamble label. This charted number 91 on Cashbox, 78 on Billboard. This was a number 14 R&B tune and a big number 1 record on WWIN and WEBB in Baltimore, Maryland. It features Sam Little Sonny Brown on lead. We go back to May 1966 by request for Evan. These are the Intruders on the Gamble label. It's called We'll Be United.
I'm tired of running around.
As by request for Evan Blatt there, The Intruders, May 1966. That's their first release on the Gamble label. Parentheses will be closed parentheses United is the name of the tune. The flip side's pretty nice too. We'll get that one on for Andrew Turner next week there. Now Sam Brown, he was the lead singer. He committed suicide in April of 1966 when he jumped off of the Strawberry Mansion Bridge in Philly. Really terrible there, but we remember his music here on the Vinyltreasure Show. Let's continue here. Here's a group from Mansfield, Ohio, founded by their lead guitarist, Terry Van Auker, but they were discovered by Columbia record producer John Walsh, who signed them to Columbia Records, and they had 3 singles on the Columbia label. This is their second. Actually, this is a cover. This was first recorded by Sharon on a 1965 LP, The Sunny Side of Cher, a tune written by Sonny Bono here. It features Jim Cruz with a K on lead here. This is September 1967. This has some, I don't know, you know how I hate styrene 45s. Tim complaining of the levels here. Well, you know, when you own 45s and you own some valuable recordings, they sound differently. They do. But anyway, this is a group called Wildlife. It's on Columbia Records. The tune is called Where Do You Go?
She wants me, then she don't. Sometimes she's willing, but most of the time she won't. I do my best to satisfy, but she tells me that I never even tried. That's the way, so they say, of the women of today. And it seems that they're always finding new games to play. They're always finding new games to play. Oh, new games to play. She's always finding new games to play. When I wake up, I never know if she's gonna wanna stay or have to go. I ask a question, she tells a lie. She don't care if I've been hurt or if I cry. That's the way, so they say, of the women of today. And it seems that they're always finding new games to play. They're always finding new games to play. Oh, new games to play. She's always finding new games to play. That's the way, so they say, of the women of today. And it seems that they're always finding new games to play. They're always finding new games to play. Oh, new games to play. I feel it getting worse every day. Oh, new games to play. She chases me in so many ways.
Whoops. September 1967, released there by a group called Wildlife. It's on the Columbia record label. I think that, yeah, they're second of 3 on Columbia. What did I play? New games. Wait, that was the wrong side. What do I got here? Charlene, I have Where Do You Go? Wait a second. Hold on a second. That was the wrong side, folks. Let's see how this side sounds. Wait a minute. Did I have the wrong side? Let me see. I think I did the wrong thing here. No, we don't want that side. I guess that's... I don't know what happened there. Anyway, Johnny G babbling on here. Let's continue here. Up next, a request for listener Cheryl Morgan. This girl group out of Los Angeles, California. They're called Bonnie and the Treasures. Now, Bonnie's real name is Charlotte Ann Matheny, and in 1963, she recorded as Charlotte O'Hara on the Ava record label. I have that 45, by the way, which is pretty good. But this tune written by Barry Mann and Cynthia Weil, this charted number 77 on Billboard, number 17 on WJET out of Erie, Pennsylvania. This is by request for Cheryl, July 65. Bonnie and the Treasures on the Fidan record label. The tune is called Home of the Brave. Yeah, that has the Phil Spector Wall of Sound there. That's the Bonnie and the Treasures. July 1965, by request for Cheryl Morgan. It's on the Phi Dan record label. Home of the Brave is the name of the tune. Now, Charlotte also recorded as Bonnie on the Warner Brothers record label. I have featured that here on the 60s show. And I think she was also Cherry Blossom on a label called Gold Crown and Bonnie Graham on the Preview label. Now, Jody Miller's cover of this on the Capitol actually did much better than this version. Unfortunately, though, Charlotte, she would pass away in 1976 from breast cancer. But I think there's a video of her on Where the Action Is, but those aren't, I think the two gals backing her up, they were two other singers. I was talking to John Clemente about that Where the Action Is clip, but you can see this on Where the Action Is clip on YouTube. Johnny G here on a Saturday evening, and let's continue here. Here's another flip side from last month's 60 show. I featured a group called The Guys, Guise, on the Musicland record label, and yes, Mark, they were a kind of like a derivative of Bob Cuban and the Inman, but the group, they're out of St. Louis, and they were very popular in the St. Louis area, and I played the intended A-side, which was okay in my opinion. I just last minute decided to play it. It was called Long-Haired Music. Actually, they're called The Guys. What's it say? It says, and their mod sound, and it was really a mod sound on that side, Long-Haired Music, which was a #1 local hit for them. But the B-side is totally different sounding. Totally different sounding. And I don't know if Walter Scott is on this. I don't think he is. He is on some of their records. I think so. But I'm not sure. Maybe somebody knows. But anyway, this is from October 1966. It's the B-side on the Musicland USA record label, the B-side of Like Long Hair. These are the guys. It's called When You're Sorry.
Sorry that you've done what you've done, and you feel that you finished having fun. When you're sorry, I will know it, you will show it in your eyes. When you're sorry, when you're sorry, you're sorry, come back home. Now you're famous and you have made a name. Deep the smile, you should be feeling shame. You have cheated and you've lied, there's not a trick you haven't tried. When you're sorry, when you're sorry, when you're sorry, come back home. You weren't the same. I watched your show, I saw it all from the first row. You were to blame for your downfall. You lost your name, you lost your all. So you've come back and you're down on your knees. Stop your begging, no need to say please. You are sorry, and I know it, I can see it in your eyes. You are sorry, you are sorry, you are sorry, so come home.
That's a B-side for the Guys, Guise, October 1966 release on the Musicland USA record label, When You're Sorry. That's their first of 4 on Musicland. Now they have 2 more releases on the, is it RCA or is it ATCO? I might have messed that up too. Johnny G really typing real quick my script that I do today. I just got it in under the gun. I wasn't able to make any label scans, unfortunately, but that's the way it goes. Let's continue here. And I really couldn't find any information on this next artist, but the tune, the interesting thing about this when I saw this record was that the song was arranged by Jimmy Wisner, and it was produced by Jerry Ross. That's usually a good sign. And it's the only release by this gal. Her name is Merlyn, MER-LYN. And the writers here are interesting because they've had some pretty big hits, these writers, Tony Powers and George Fishoff. And they penned some pretty big hits like Lazy Day and 98.6 and Run to My Loving Arms and so many other tunes. But they wrote this song, but this was not a hit. Not a hit at all. But anyway, let's give it a spin here. From May of 1965, this gal, her name is Merlin. I guess like the magician, but it's spelled MER-LYN. It's on ABC Paramount, and the name of the tune is called Promise.
Promise, promise me, my darling. Promise me you'll never leave me anymore. Oh, darling, promise, promise you won't hurt me. You won't leave me crying like you did before.
That gal, her name is Merlin. Merlin there, May 1965 release on the ABC Paramount record label, song entitled Promise. Johnny G promises to play original vinyl 45s every Saturday from 10 to 1 a.m., never an MP3. I don't care how much Tim tortures me that I won't do that. As we continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, let's send this next tune out to listener Joe Shacatano, because I know he likes this singer who was previously the lead singer of the 1950s group The Wanderers, who of course moved into the early 1960s also, but the Wanderers had some classic recordings through the years, but the lead singer of the group, he went solo in 1965 with releases on the Shrine label, which I do not own, and United Artists, and this is his first of 3 on United Artists, and I think there were 2 versions of this song out at the same time in April of 1965, so I don't know who did it first, because Lenny Welch does a nice version of this, and the song that I'm featuring is by Ray Pollard. So we'll send this one out to Joe Shacatano. This charted number 11 on WAAT out of Trenton, New Jersey. It was produced by Jerry Granahan, April 1965. Give a listen to Mr. Ray Pollard on United Artists and his rendition of the tune, Darling Take Me Back, parentheses, I'm sorry.
it's plain that we're through. My stubborn heart keeps on loving you. I miss your love so badly, it's a crime. If only I could make you change your mind, I'd get down on my knees with my heart in my hand. Places we knew, hoping that I may run into you. If only you would pass along my way, I'd swallow all my pride and I will say, while I'm down on my knees with my heart in my
Yes, Dave the Rave, I have to agree. The only way to, excuse me, to really own that record is the nice vinyl promo on that. Again, United Artists, their wax was not good, especially if it wasn't taken care of and played with a terrible needle, as most of the, well, I want to say most, but a lot did not take care of their records, unfortunately. But that's a great tune going out to Joe Shacatano, Ray Pollard's version of Darling, Take Me Back. I'm sorry, that's on United Artists Records, April 1965. We continue here. We stay in the year 1965 for a request for listener Emnon, another great artist that found success in the 1950s, but also into the 1960s, both as a singer, songwriter, producer, and label owner, the great Sam Cooke, as this song should have been a much bigger hit than it was, but it was not. It only charted number 32 on Billboard, number 30 on Cashbox, number 18 on the Billboard R&B chart, and is a tune that this singer wrote, the great Sam Cooke, here on by request for Emnon, July 1965. Sam Cooke on the RCA record label. It's called Sugar Dumpling.
Sugar dumpling, you my baby, I love you in every way. Sugar dumpling, you my baby, my love grows stronger every day. Yeah, sugar dumpling, you my baby, I love you in every way. Yeah, sugar dumpling, you my baby, my love grows stronger every day. Look, listen while I tell you a story about my girl. Now I call her sugar dumpling because she's the sweetest thing in this world. Whenever I'm feeling bad, right away she puts me to bed, and she hires two nurses, one to hold my hand, the other one to rub my head. Oh, sugar dumpling, you my baby, I love you in every way. Yeah, sugar dumpling, you my baby, my love grows stronger every day. fixes me a dinner with 7 different kinds of meat. If I call her up at 2 o'clock in the morning and say, come on over if you can, before I hang up the telephone, she's sitting beside me with a cup of coffee in her hand. Oh, sugar dumpling, you my baby, I love you in every way. Yeah, sugar dumpling, you my baby, my love grows stronger every day. Judy monkey, sugar dumpling, you my baby, I love you in every way. Oh, I love you, sugar dumpling, my love grows stronger every day. Oh, sugar dumpling, I love you in every way. The sugar dumpling, my love grows stronger every day.
As by request for Amnon there, the great Sam Cooke, July 65 on the RCA record label. Sugar Dumpling is the name of the tune. This copy is whipped, but doesn't play so bad for a whipped copy that I picked up in the garbage. Evan, that's one I found in the garbage, believe it or not. Johnny G here on a Saturday evening. Let's continue here. And up next, a solo effort by the lead singer of a Pittsburgh, PA group you all know. If you're familiar with a group called the Skyliners, the Skyliners, of course, had some big hits on the Calico label in the late 50s, early 60s, and other labels too. But this singer goes by the name of Jimmy Beaumont, and he also had a bunch of solo releases beginning in 61 on labels like Colpix, May, Gallant, and Burt Burns' Bang label. This is the second of 2 he did on the Bang label, and the harder of the 2 to find, but it's from June of 1966. Give a listen to Mr. Jimmy Beaumont. Jimmy Beaumont on the Bang label. The tune is called You Got Too Much Going For You. Right, yeah. You Got Too Much Going For You.
Something you wanna try. You got that look, old as the world in your eye. I need someone good for me. I don't need no misery. And you got too much going.
That's the second of two for Mr. Jimmy Beaumont on the Bang record label, June 1966. You Got Too Much Going For You. I agree with you, Warren. Kind of sounding like a Righteous Brothers tune there. I do have to agree with that sound in the background there, but it's unfortunate that we lost Jimmy Beaumont October 7th of 2017 at the age of 76. But his other record, his first one's good too, which I've had for years. This one actually is sort of a recent purchase for Johnny G. Johnny G here on a Saturday evening. It's my all 60s edition. We do it the last Saturday of every month. So I only spin these on the last Saturday. So I really never paid attention so much to the 60s. I did buy them because I was filling labels, but I didn't try to get, a lot of the mint copies and whatnot. And I was able to get them, a lot of them fairly cheap for a couple bucks. But I have, I guess, over the last 15 years or so, if not longer, tried to find some of the more expensive soul records. I've always had them in my collection, but I have all kinds of stuff in my collection. Some things I really don't even know, to be honest with you. But anyway, let's continue here for this next group. They're out of Detroit, Michigan. They're called the Seminoles. They had releases on the Go G label. I think Checkmate also releases on the Highlight label. And in late 1962, when lead singer Joey Finazzo, he left the group, he was replaced by Sal Prado, and they changed the name of the group to the Embers. And they had a release in November of 63 on the Act 4 label. This song originally came out on Act 4. I think it's a little longer at the end. I think if you listen to it, there's a clip somewhere. Manship, I think, has it. But the tune went nowhere. They tried to shop the record around and was finally picked up by a local label, Midtown Records. But the group said, you know what, let's change our name back to the Seminoles. Because originally, they wanted, with the new lead, they figured they'd be called the Embers. Maybe there was another group out at the time also called the Embers, and they changed it to the Seminoles. But they went back to their old name, the Seminoles, and they had a new lead singer. His name is Sal Prado, and they re-released this version, which is a tad shorter, just a few seconds shorter, but I like this tune. April 1965, the Seminoles on the Midtown label. The song is called You Can Lump It.
And my love for you is gone. And if you don't like it,
That group called the Seminoles. I mean, Warren, I agree. I got to be careful with a lot of the records on YouTube because they speed them up and they slow them down to trick the YouTube filter, not to give them a copyright issue. Did you know that? That's what people do. They speed up or they slow down the records, so sometimes you really never know what. I mean, I'm playing them I'm locked in on the Audio Technicas here on the 45 speed, but it's possible that they sped this up but I don't hear the clapping at the end, so it might be a slightly different version, and the Columbia matrix numbers are different, but I don't know if that really means anything. But anyway, let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. We go back to New York City for this girl group sound on Jerry Blaine's Josie Records. These gals had 2 releases on the Josie label. This is their first. This is arranged by Leroy Kirkland, written by Mike Lewis and Joe Sauter. I don't know who they are, but can't tell you anything else about the group, but it's from June of 65. They're called the Tiffany's. The Tiffany's on the Josie label. The tune is called I Just Wanna Be Your Girl.
If they said to me, said that I could be anything in this world, here's what I would say. Let me stay this way. I just wanna be your girl. I just wanna be your
That's the first of 2 for the Tiffany's, Tiffany's, on the Josie record label, June 65 release. I Just Wanna Be Your Girl is the name of the tune. We continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. We go back to Detroit, Michigan for this soul singer discovered by Robert West and Willis Schofield. It came out on Don Roby's Sure Shot record label out of Houston, Texas. But Roby, a very smart businessman, as he set up satellite offices in many of the major cities to find new talent to record on his Peacock and Backbeat record labels. And this label, Sure Shot Records, which is a subsidiary now, this singer had 6 releases on the Sure Shot label. This was his first. As we go back to April 1964, give a listen to Bobby Williams. Bobby Williams on Sure Shot Records. The name of the tune is called Play a Sad Song.
Don't you play gay music, don't you play gay music for me. Play a sad song, play a sad, sad song. Oh yeah, yeah, it used to make me happy when they play gay songs. It filled my heart with pleasure, but now my love has gone. Yes, I remember she left the dance floor and she never made it back no more. So don't you play gay music, you play gay music for me. No, no, play a sad song. Yeah, yeah, play a sad, sad song. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I thought things were going my way as the band played on. I never even gave it a thought that the next dance she'll be gone, dancing away in another's arms, gone with the magic of the music's jump. So don't you play gay music, you play gay music for me. No, no, play a sad song, play a sad, sad song. Oh yeah, yeah. Yes, I still can see her dress in a pretty pink lace, whirling and twirling out of my embrace. Darling, 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 I thought things were going my way as the band played on. I haven't even gave it a thought that the next dance she'll be gone, dancing away in another's arms, gone with the magic of the music's jump. So don't you play gay music, you play gay music for me. No, no, play a sad song. Oh yeah, play a sad, sad song. Oh yeah, play a sad, sad song. She left the dance floor and she never made it back no more. So don't you play gay music, you play gay music for me. No, no, play a sad song for me, play a sad, sad song for me. Oh, no, 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 don't play gay music for me, play a sad, 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 sad song.
That's the first of 6 for Bobby Williams. Bobby Williams on the Sure Shot record label. April 64 release, Play a Sad Song is the name of the tune. Now that Bobby Williams made me think of this next tune, or parts of that song sounded like parts of this next song by this group from Los Angeles, California called The Furies. They signed to James McEachern's Mac 4 label. Now, James would become the group's manager. They did 5 for the Mac 4 group, and then I think there's one on World Pacific, and this one that I'm spinning is on the Aura, A-U-R-A, Aura record label. It features Jerome Evans on lead, and this actually was released the same month and year as that Bobby Williams that we just heard, Play a Sad Song. But this is from April 64. Give a listen to The Furies on the Aura label. The tune is called Cover Girl.
I saw your picture on a magazine. You smiled smiled at me just like a living dream. Cover girl. Since then I've searched everywhere for you. I want to be, yes, I want to be your lover, girl on the cover. Love, I love you, cover girl. Yeah, 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 yeah. You stole my heart away that very day. Very day. I took one look and I knew right away. Cover girl, I wanted to love my very own. I had to be, yes, I had to be your lover, girl on the cover. Fell for you, cover girl. Yeah, 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 yeah. I found my cover girl one lonely day. Lonely day. I made her mine and she is mine to stay. Cover girl. Now I don't need no picture. I've got my girl. Yeah, I got to be her lover.
I saw a cop. Oh, wait. Reconnection. Did I lose my connection? OBS Studio reconnection. Did I lose? Was it buffering? I saw a connection issue that came up with the triangle there. That's odd. That is not good. Anyway, those are the Furies there. Jerome Evans on lead. April 64 release on the Aura record label. Cover Girl. I love that tune there. Cover Girl. And what did I say here? They had other releases, of course, on the Liberty label. Wow, buffering. I saw that. I wonder if that happened before. Anyway, I'm sorry about that, folks. Maybe too much action going on Johnny G's show. Let's continue here. Up next, a request for listener Cheryl Morgan, but she requested a B-side to the Cookies' last single on the Dimension label. The side I like much better is the tune called I Never Dream, but the flip side is actually a demo that the Cookies recorded that Leslie Gore released. Believe it or not, Leslie Gore released this as a B-side to her big hit She's a Fool in September of '63, but it was the Cookies that did the demo of it, and they used this as a B-side to their final release on the Dimension label. Earl Jean, she is on lead here. This is by request for Cheryl, May 1964, going out to Cheryl, the Cookies on Dimension. The song is called The Old Crowd.
We just ignore the sign, no damn
B-sides here on the Vinyltreasure Show. That one there by request for Cheryl Morgan. The Cookies, Earl Jean and the Cookies, May 64 release on the Dimension label. The Old Crowd is the name of the tune. That's the demo that was presented to Leslie Gore that she decided to sing and put as a flip side to She's a Fool, one of her big hits on the Mercury label. Johnny G here, spinning all 1960s original vinyl 45s out of my collection. Let's continue here with this male quartet that formed while attending Santa Rosa High School in Los Angeles back in 1959. They signed with Era Records and had a few national hits. You may know their hits, Sacred and So This Is Love. But then they teamed up with Gary Usher when they signed with Decca Records, and he produced both their singles. Let's give a spin to their second. It features Chuck Girard on lead. This one from June of 1966. Give a listen to the Castells on the Decca label. The tune is called Life Goes On. So true.
So the worst has happened. She's gone and left you.
And you think that your world is over, and you sit there
Trying to put the pieces back
together.
Well, let me tell you,
There will be another spring. There will be another day. Even though she's not around, April's coming anyway. Life goes on.
That group called the Castells. We'll send that one out to Randy in the YouTube chat, and also Dave the Rave. I'm having trouble in my YouTube chat. Well, maybe it's back now. I see it's spinning now. They're coming back. That's unfortunate there. It's going some buffering. I don't know what's going on. It says excellent connection. But to those of the Castells, their June 1966 release on the Decca label, Life Goes On is the name of that tune. Features Chuck Girard. I think that's how you pronounce it, Girard, on lead. Now, Chuck also sang lead with the Devons and also the Hondells. I think I have that Devons also on the Decca label. Johnny G here on a Saturday evening. I'm sorry, I apologize for the buffering. I don't know what the deal is. Lost power earlier in the week. We had terrible rain here in the New York area. I was talking to Dave the Rave. Actually, I was playing records for Dave one night. It was late, and then all of a sudden, poof, I lost for about a minute. The power just went out, so everything just shut down. So I don't know what's going on with Con Edison here. Anyway, let's continue here. Now, you know I'm a record collector, and when you're a record collector and you look at so many records, and you don't have a record player, let's say, so you can hear it. You know, collectors really need to bring their record players when they go to record shows. I, for many, many years, did not. So I was just buying stuff blind, but I would look for certain things on the label that would kind of make me want to buy the record because I knew it might be good based on past experience. But anyway, this 45 is on the Monument label, and when I look for Monument records, I look for records produced by Ray Stevens. And this record had an added bonus because the writer of this tune is Joe South. So I figured, can I really go wrong by not buying this record? And it wasn't expensive at all. It was really a cheapie, maybe a couple dollars. But that's was the case with this record here, and that's why I bought it. Now, this singer is from Spalding, Nebraska. He formed a group in 1957 called Did I pronounce that right? Tom Paul. Yeah, Tom Paul and the Glasser Brothers. But here is his first of three on the Monument label. We go back to November of 1965 on Monument Records. Give a listen to Jim Glasser. Jim Glasser, this one, again, produced by Ray Stevens, a tune written by Joe South. The song is called I'd Rather Not Know.
I'd rather not
not know she runs around. I'd rather not know she lets me down. I love her so, I can't let her go. I'd rather not know, I'd rather not know, 'cause what I don't know won't hurt me. So why should you tell me? So if you should see her old used to be, holding her tenderly, keep it from me. I'd rather not know, no, 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 no. I'd rather not know, no, 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 no. You're spreading talk all around that my baby's gonna put me down, and it may or may not be true. But whatever will be, so what good would it do to tell me? It would break my heart in two. When it's over and done, and she's had her fun, she'll realize that I'm the only one who really, really loves her, really loves her. Whoa, I'd rather not know she runs around. I'd rather not know she lets me down. You know I love her so, I can't let her go. I'd rather not know, I'd rather not know, but I don't know what hurt me. So why should you tell me? So if you should see her old used to be, holding her tenderly, keep it from me. I'd rather not know, no, 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 no. I'd rather not know, no, 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 no. I'd rather not know, no, 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 no. I'd rather not know.
November 65 there for Jim Glasser. Jim Glasser on the Monument record label. The first of three, song entitled I'd Rather Not Know, is the name of the tune as we continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. And can't tell you, and I tell other collectors, they see 45s that say Sammy Lowe or Tico Wilshire on the label, that those might be good records too, and that is the case with this next tune, and it's a request for listener Mnon, and this record produced by Tico Wilshire. It's on the Vegas label, the same Vegas label that Kenny Odell recorded for, the original version of Beautiful People. But this group is called the T-Birds, and the tune was written by the lead singer. His name is Ralph Vega. Ralph Vega, so by request for Mnon, let's go back to January 1968. These are the T-Birds on the Vegas label, and the song is called Have You Ever Been in Love Before?
Have you ever been in love before with someone you can call your own?
As for Amnon, listener Amnon there, January 68, that's a late release, kind of sounding a little earlier on the Vegas label, a group called the T-Birds. Have You Ever Been in Love Before is the name of the tune. It features Ralph Vega. He's on lead. He also wrote the tune. Let's continue here. And this next artist out of Los Angeles, California, you might have seen him perform his biggest hit on American Bandstand back in 1964. The song was called Kick That Little Foot, Sally Ann. Came out on the Domain record label, was number 61 on the Billboard charts, but he had other releases on the Domain label. His real name was Robin Lloyd, but he was a pretty big guy. Big guy, I'll say. I'm not going to say fat guy. I'm going to say Johnny G's a fat guy. He was a big guy. I don't know if I was as big as him, though. But anyway, he was a big guy, so he recorded as Round Robin. And here is his 9th release on Tony Sepe and Marty Brooks' Domain label. This charted number 33 on KRLA out in Los Angeles, California. We go back to August 1965 for Mr. Round Robin. Round Robin on the Domain record label. The name of the tune is called I'm the Wolf Man.
In the middle of the night when the full moon rise, I got a funny kind of feeling coming in my eye. Well, my hair get long and my eyes turn blue. I got long hair growing on my fingers too. I'm the wolf man. I'm the wolf man, baby. And if you see me on the prowl, watch it when you hear me growl. Well, I jump in the car and I drive down the street. I got long paws on my hands and feet. I just ride around the holler neath the moon above. Tonight I'm coming after your sweet love. I'm the wolf man. I'm the wolf man, baby. And if you see me on the prowl, watch it when you hear me growl. Well, I climb tall buildings, I pull down trees. I chase little birds and I sting the bee. Well, baby, don't you scream when I hold you tight. I'm gonna win your love tonight. I'm a wolf man, baby. If you see me on the prowl, watch it when you hear me growl. Watch it when I'm on the prowl. Watch it if you hear me growl. You turn me
That's a good Halloween song to pull out for Halloween. August 65, Round Robin there on the Domain record label. I'm the Wolfman. Not an easy 45 to find for you collectors out there. As we continue here, we go to San Diego, California with a request for listener Gary Mason, as this group had 5 releases on World Pacific Records. Gary requested their 4th, written by the lead singer. His name is Bill Richardson, and this group lip-synced this song on Dick Clark's Where the Action Is, produced by Steve Alamo by request for Gary Mason, February 67. Give a listen to The Hard Times. The Hard Times on World Pacific. It's called They Said No. That group called the Hard Times by request for Gary Mason. And who we got? We got Randy likes that, Dave the Rave, and Katie. They like that tune there by the Hard Times. Bill Richardson on lead, February 67 release. That is their, what did I say that was? That was their 4th of 5 releases on the World Pacific. I wonder if, Charlene, is that clip on YouTube of them lip syncing that song on Where the Action Is? That would be pretty interesting if it is. Anyway, Johnny G losing his voice. I apologize for that. It was fine as I go through the show here. I kind of, with the allergens here, it's pretty horrible. I'm gonna have to take one of those cough things there. I will do that. But let's continue here. Up next, the 45 my aunt purchased in the summer of 1967, but not for the A-side of this tune. The A-side, which was a pretty big Billboard hit for the group, called San Franciscan Nights, number 9 on Billboard, 8 on Cashbox, but she bought it for the flip side, which was co-written by the lead singer, that be Eric Burden, co-wrote this tune. As we go back to July of 1967 for Eric Burden and the Animals. This one from July 67, MGM Records. The song is called Good Times.
When I think of all the good times that I've wasted having good times. When I think of all the good time that's been wasted having good times. When I was drinking, I should have been thinking. When I was fighting, I could have done the right thing. All of that boozing, I was really losing. Good times, good times. When I think of all the good time that's been wasted having good times. When I think of all the good time that's been wasted having good times. All of my lying, I remember her crying. My useless talking, I could have been walking instead of complaining. I could have been gaining good times. Yes, yeah, we all are having a jolly good time, and everything is working out fine. Ha 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 ha. Useless talking, all of that talking, all of my sin, I could have been winning. I had to be easy, and it's a beginning of good time. Good time, I said good time. Talking about good time. Oh, good time. Baby, just good time.
B-sides here on the Vinyltreasure Show. That's Eric Burden and the Animals. July 1967 release. That's the B-side to San Franciscan Nights. Song entitled Good Times on the MGM record label. And that comes with a picture sleeve. I found this one. Again, this was a cheapo record that I found local, like at a local garage sale. These are the kind of records you're going to find. At least I did find in the early 1970s. Johnny G here on a Saturday evening. It's my all 60s show. Let's continue here. We go back to Los Angeles, California to Sid Talmadge's Highland label for this group. They had 4 releases on the Haydn label, and this is their second, written by the lead singer. His name is Mike James Kirkland. We go back to May 1967 for Mike and the Sensations on the Highland label. It's called Don't Mess With Me.
Like a bloodhound. Asked my friends for help, but they all let me down. Then I finally swallowed all of my pride, grabbed her by the hand, and we walked outside. I said, now listen, girl, let me explain. Don't you ever mess with me while I'm trying to make my game. Don't ever mess with me while I'm trying to make my game.
That's a second of 4 on the Highland label from Mark and the Sensations' May 67 release. Don't Mess With Me is the name of the tune. On the. They have, I think they also have a later one that comes out on the Review label. I have that 45. Don't Mess With Johnny G. I have a temper. You can talk to Dave the Rave. Dave the Rave always takes the high road. I always take... Wait. Yeah, Dave takes the high road. I take the low road. I get very upset and irate almost immediately, and I have to have the last licks all the time. That is for sure. Johnny G babbling on here. Let's continue here. On my last 50s show, actually I featured a girl group called the Rochelles. This was last week, and I'm pretty sure this group is out of Detroit, Michigan. The song was called Hear My Plea. It was actually a request by Matey Campboy, my #1 California listener. But I decided to play the flip side of this 45 on my All 60s show, and I'm pretty certain that this 45, which came out on the Spacey label, was released earlier as Yvonne Robertson and the Domestics. And they do the exact A and B sides of this, but it's a more cruder and unpolished version of the tunes. And then I think they practiced and they resung both sides and they put it out again. So this is the more polished, I would say. And I say that because Craig Moyer had a copy of that for sale, but he wanted like $2,000 for it. And I was like, it wasn't even mint, but it was, both sides were great, but they were both sides of this 45 that I'm featuring. But of course, we're going to play one of the sides tonight. We're going to play the Rochelle's here from 1964 on the Spacey label, Yvonne Robertson on lead, and the tune is called Teardrops.
Drops just keep falling. Teardrops keep falling from my eyes. One by one, just keep falling. With a heart full of hurt. One by one, just keep falling. Baby, what went wrong? What did I say to make you treat me this way? One by one, just keep falling. One by one, falling. Falling from my eyes. One by one, for it's you I love. It's you I love. But why do we part? It's you I love. Because of pain. It's you I love. Pain in my heart. Pain in my heart. Because of a pain. A pain in my heart. Don't you know it's you I love? You I love. It's you I love. It's you I love. But why do we part? You I love. It's you that I love.
Cool girl group sound here on the Vinyltreasure Show. They're called the Rochelle's. Yvonne Robertson on lead, 1964. Teardrops is the name of the tune on the Spacey label. Flipside's a nice ballad. It's called Hear My Plea. I wonder if Craig Moyer still has that available on his, I know he had to re-put up all his eBay listings, so I wonder if he put that up, or maybe somebody bought it. I don't know, but anyway, let's continue here. Here's a request for listener Mark Speck in our YouTube chat room. He requested the Channels, and by the mid-1960s, all of the original group members, except one, remained. Of course, Earl Lewis, he was the lead singer of the 1950s group, but one of the original members still remained and used the Channels name. His name is Larry Hampton, and the Channels had a couple of releases on Enjoy, I think, and also on the Groove record label. Mark requested their first of two on Groove. This is, again, arranged by Tico Wilshire from October 1964. We'll send it out to Mark. The Channels on the Groove label. It's called Anything You Do.
I
As by request from Mark Speck there, The Channels, October 1964 release on the Groove record label, their first of two, song entitled Anything You Do is the name of the tune. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show for a request for Evan Blatt. He went to bed. He's going to have to listen on the archive. This group, they're from the San Francisco, Oakland Bay area, and they do a cover song first recorded by Gene Chandler on the Constellation label, but the group first issued this. There's a rare press of this on the Bayview label in 1967. Then a year later, they re-recorded it for the Venture label, and this is a 45 that my aunt purchased in 1968. This charted number 65 on Billboard, number 48 on Cashbox, a big number 8 R&B tune. It features Leslie LaPalma on lead. This is by request for Evan Blatt, May 68. These are the ballads on the Venture label. The song is called, well, their rendition of the Gene Chandler tune, God Bless Our Love, for Evan.
God bless our love. God bless our love. And God forgive us our temptations, 'cause He knows we have been tempted, girl, beyond and above humiliation. Bless the stars above. God bless our love. Baby, need you so bad. Hey, baby. So bad, oh yeah, need you right now. God bless our love. God give us our temptation, 'cause He knows we have been tempted, beyond and above humiliation. Oh yeah, 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 my girl. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
By request for Evan Blatt there, the ballads there, brings back memories. Used to play that a lot for my aunt. She loved that tune. I love that version. God Bless Our Love, May 1968 on the Venture label. A cool tune there. Johnny G here on a Saturday evening. Hope you're digging on the tunes. If you're new to the Vinyl Treasure Show on YouTube, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Maybe I'll do a show on Monday afternoon, or you never know, maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow I'll be the opening act for Dave the Rave. Although Dave the Rave, do you have anything to tell me I don't know. But anyway, let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. And up next, we go back to the girl group sound. This group is out of New Jersey. They had a few variations in the spelling of their name through their career, but I'm pretty sure this is their debut single. They have others on the Parkway label, King Records I have them on, Mr. G, and also the Colossus label, and this one that I'm featuring on Gene Red's Red label, REDD Records. And Gene Red wrote this tune, and he produced it and arranged it. The group is called the Devons, spelled D-E space V-O-N-N-S. On other releases, it's spelled D-E space V-O-N-S, and then it's also spelled D-E-V-O-N-N-E-S. Many ways they spelled their name. But anyways, from 64 on the Red label, these are the Devons with One-Sided Lover. That's a debut single for a girl group called the Devons, 1964 on the Red, R-E-D-D label. One-Sided Lover is the name of the tune. As we continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, got to tell a story about this next 45. Actually, I have another one if I'm able to get to it later on in the show. But Barbara got a new car. This was a while ago. I think maybe about a month ago or so now. And she called me up one Sunday. She goes, "You want to go for a test ride in my new car?" So I said, "Okay, honey, come pick me up." I said, "Look, I'm not dressed or anything. I don't have my wallet. So let's go for the spin." So she says, "Okay, but I want to go to Hastings on Hudson. There's a store I want to, look at, and you want to go there?" I said, "Well, yeah, we can go. There's a record store there. Haven't been there in a while, so maybe they changed it up, so let's go." So we get to Hastings on Hudson, and her car is really nice. I forget what the name of it is. It's like a little minivan or something. But anyway, so I said, "Look, you go to the store, I'll go up and look at these records." So I go in, and there's these two young guys, and I said, "You got any 45s for sale?" He goes, "Yeah, whatever's out there on the table." So they had these tables outside. I said, "Oh, cool." I said, "How much are they?" They said, "Well, they're a quarter a piece, but 5 for $1." So I says, "All right." I says, "Geez, I haven't been out in the wild looking for records for years and years." So anyway, I pull out a stack, and I'm looking, and they're kind of trashed. So I'm looking, and I pull out. I said, "Well, I pull out a few." I'm like putting some back, and I get 20 records. So I go in, I say, "Well, look, Barbara comes back and she goes, "You ready to go?" I said, "Yeah." I says, "Give me a couple dollars. I have no money." She goes, "Well, I only have $2." I says, "Well, give me your credit card." So I go back in and the guys go, "I'm sorry, we don't take credit cards unless you spend $10. I said, "But this is $4." He goes, "Well, I'm sorry." I said, "Look, can I come back tomorrow?" "No, we're closed." "Can I come back the next day?" "No, we're closed. You have to come back Wednesday or come back later unless you want to buy something else." I said, "Do you have any compilation albums?" So I said, "Maybe I'll buy some compilation albums." So they bring me over to these punk compilation albums. I'm going, "What is this?" So it was like a I don't know, a are there punk music stores, I guess? But anyway, I said, "Look," I said, "let me go with my girlfriend. Maybe we can get to a money machine and hopefully I'll be back, in the next half hour or so before you close." I go back and I walk in and there's the records. I give them the $4 and I come home. So I'm talking to Dave the Rave about these records, and I won't talk about one of them, but there was this record that I was looking for in my collection, a request for listener Amnon, and there it was in this box. I mean, it's not in great shape, but it plays pretty decent. For 20 cents, you can't go wrong. It'll offset the record I paid $3,000 for not too long ago. But anyway, that's the babbling story about it. But anyway, this is a request for listener Amnon. And this actually, he requested the Impressions on the ABC Paramount record label. This tune written by Curtis Mayfield, who was not on lead. Mark, do you know who was on lead here with the Impressions? But this charted, believe it or not, number 28 on WJMO in Cleveland, Ohio, by request for Amnon. February 67, the Impressions on ABC, going out to Amnon. The song is called Little Girl.
Little girl, come home to me. Little girl, come home to me. Each and every hour longer, there's a pain and torturous hunger. Troubles are now in the past, my little darling. Come on home, little girl. This you must know, my little darling, I love you so. Darling, I just can't go on like this. I don't want to dream nor reminisce. All that I long is your tender loving kiss, my little darling.
I have to agree with Dave the Rave. I love that tune there. By request for Amnon, the Impressions. Impressions, February 67 release on the ABC Paramount record label Little Girl. Curtis Mayfield wrote the tune. Curtis Mayfield's on lead on the flip. But this is one of the other guys. Sam, I forget his last name, starts with a G, I think. if I'm not mistaken. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening as we babble on here. And let's continue here. Up next, this gal from Louisville, Kentucky. She was raised in Cincinnati, Ohio. She would have 9 releases on Joe Kowalski's Diamond record label out of New York City between 1966 and 1969. Let's give a listen to her 4th and her most desirable 45 to those Northern Soul collectors. This one arranged by Renee Hall, produced by Bill Justice and Phil Cal. This is a B-side, by the way. It's from September 67. Give a listen to Ruby Winters. Ruby Winters on the Diamond label. The tune is called Better.
Better to be a poor man's lover than a plaything for a rich boy. Better to be everything to someone than just somebody's toy. Better to have somebody love you for what you are, not for what he can get. Better to be an honest woman than an expensive bitch. Better to know he'll be there waiting in the evening when you need him. Money won't buy a good man's kind of loving, so be careful how you treat him. It takes a while to find the right man, but when you do, then you'll understand that it's better to be a poor man's joy than a rich man's toy.
What a man, good man's kind of loving, so be careful how you treat him.
Oh, it takes a while to find the right man, but when you do, then you'll understand that it's better to be a poor man's joy than a rich man's toy. Oh, take it from me, you'll see a part-time love brings only misery, and it's better to be a man's whole world than it's sometime girl. Don't wanna be a sometime girl. No, no, no. I'm gonna be a poor man's lover. Yes, I would. Better to be. Now, baby, belong to a poor man. Any day.
Now, those are the kind of records you like to play a buck for, because those are the kind of records I was buying from my doo-wop seller, my dealers that sold me rare doo-wop 45s, Group Harmony 45s. Johnny G, you want any of these records on the Diamond label? They're $1 a piece. So I took them. And that's a cool one, worth $1 to me. Johnny G here on a Saturday evening. Let's continue here now. I normally feature this Bronx duo on my 50s show. Their biggest hit, a classic from 1958. It's called We Belong Together. Came out on High Weiss's Old Town record label. Received a copyright strike on that record when I played it a couple of years ago. But they had 16 releases between the year 1956 and 62 on Old Town. Then just 2 other releases after that. One in 1967 on the Barry label, which I have, and this one on the Sue label from August of 1963, and it was written by the duo Robert Carr and Johnny Mitchell. This one arranged by Bert Burns. We go to August of 1963. This is on Sue Records. Give a listen to Robert and Johnny. It's called Brown, Pretty Brown Eyes.
Got such pretty brown eyes. They're the kind that hypnotize. They seem to be able to look inside, separate the truth from a lie. You can talk about the Japanese, but they don't have eyes like these. Oh no. I promise in so much love. I've always been fascinated by love, penetrating eye, enchanting eye. Two pupils they call eyes, causing all this trouble inside. Oh yeah. My girl by telling them lies, but with her I don't even want to try. Anyway, her eyes could separate the truth from a lie. Brown eyes, they do like a cobra's eye, that hypnotize, that paralyze. I looked over, seen that pretty head, started to look down at her legs, never got past those eyes. Talk about the Japanese, but they don't have eyes like these. Oh no.
August 63 release there for Robert and Johnny, Robert Carr, Johnny Mitchell, Juggy Murray's Sue record label, song entitled Brown, Pretty Brown Eyes. A cool tune that is. We continue here on the All 60s edition. We do it the last Saturday of every month. And this next artist, born in New Orleans, Louisiana, but relocated out to California, started his recording career in 1962 on the Jab label as Bobby Kimball, had releases on Fat Fish, Convoy, and two that came out on the Venture label. Here's his first under his real name. It's Neil Kimball. Neil Kimball, this written and produced by Willie Hutchinson. Supposedly this record more common with the same song on both sides, but you're not going to get this side. Right, Dave the Rave? Do you get this side on your promo? No, and unfortunately Venture was bad for that. They would put the same song on both sides, and sometimes the flip sides, of course, are better than the A side. But anyway, let's go to February 68. Give a listen to Neil Kimball. This is on the Venture label. The tune is called Ain't It the Truth?
It helps you to understand the wrong from the right. I know you've been hurt before. Someone took your love and gone. Just like you, I've been hurt too. Someone turned my heart to stone. But now I realize love is worth the trial. It is better to have love than to have never
We'll send that one out to Dave the Rave. Dave the Rave, the Sunday night disc jockey here on Top Shelf Oldies from 9 to midnight. Tune in tomorrow evening for Dave. He might be doing some overtime since so many of us are off for Memorial Day on Monday. But Dave the Rave, do you have that record? Yes, you do. Dave the Rave, I know he has that record, but not that song. There you go. Payback is a whatever they call it. As we continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, here's a B-side of a big, big hit from 1969 by this group from Jamaica. The hit side was called Israelites, a number 9 Billboard number 9 Billboard hit, number 6, and no, wait, can't read my number 8 Cashbox hit. And my aunt bought the 45 for the B side of the record, the first of 2 on the Uni label for Desmond Decker and the Aces. Now, Desmond's real name was Desmond Daces, so he came up with Desmond Decker and the Aces. Very clever, I'd say, but unfortunate though that he passed away on May 25th of 2006 of a heart attack. He was 64 years old. But let's flip over this Israelites hit 45 from March of 1969. It's on the Uni label, Desmond Decker and the Aces. The song is called My Precious World, parentheses, The Man.
Faithful love is a love that I am dreaming of for tomorrow. A faithful love is a love that I am dreaming of for tomorrow. So why should I go on like this? What, darling, I don't know. If you're running from hand to hand, a woman's world is a world can fill your heart with joys or sorrow. But why should I go on like this? What, darling, I don't know. If I don't find a girl of my dreams, it's world without love. You, la 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 la. So why should I go on like this? For what, darling, I don't know. If I don't find a girl of my dreams, it's worth without love. La, la, la. A woman's world is a world filled with sorrow. A woman's world.
B-sides here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Desmond Decker and the Aces there, March 1969. My Precious World is the name of the tune on the Uni label. That's the flip side of his big hit, The Israelites. My aunt always flipped over her 45s when she would buy the record. But not only that, at this time in 1968, she was she was dating a guy that owned a bar in our local town. It was called the Tea for Two. He had a jukebox, and the guy would go in there every week and he would change the records in the jukebox. And he told her, he said, Mary, all the records are all set up to play. There's you can eject. If you don't like the song, you can hit the eject button. I set it up. It was like, I don't know what he did, a wire to under the bar somewhere where she can actually change the, if a song was playing, she could stop it or go to the next song. So he gave her a free play for every record in the jukebox. So she would hear the A sides and the B sides of the records, and she would write them down, and she would either buy them in the store or he would sell her the box of records from that jukebox. 25 45s for $2. You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with that. So he would come and change the records. Remember, his name was Seymour. And I searched this guy out in town. I searched him out, and then I found out he passed away. But unfortunately, when I was looking for the guy. But he had records. He would sell them from the trunk of his car. And she would come home. She'd bring me. I was a kid. She'd bring like 10 boxes. She'd buy $20 worth of records, and she'd get 10 boxes of 25. Now, and she wasn't a teenager at the time. But anyway, that's how come she had so many records. Johnny G babbling on here. Let's continue here for this girl duet out of Cincinnati, Ohio. This came out on the Fraternity label. They are Patty Valentine and Linda Parrish. They recorded as the Two of Clubs. This is their second of 5 on the Fraternity label, and it's a cover. This song was first recorded by Verdell Smith on the Capitol label. I think Christy Allen also does a version of this on the Diamond label. This charted number 92 on Billboard, 75 on Cashbox. This was a big number 1 record, believe it or not, on WSAI out of Cincinnati, Ohio. We go back to October 1966 for the Two of Clubs. The Two of Clubs on Fraternity, and my copy says Walk Tall.
Can you do it? Can you put her out of your heart? Are you strong enough? If you love me, then you know what you've got to do. Walk tall when she passes by. Walk tall like a man. Though you want to run to her, stop. If you can, think of me, be a man. She don't care at all for you, and she never will. You'll just keep on hurting until you walk tall like a man. Just for once in your life, if you can be a man, walk tall. I'll give all I've got to you, and you know I will. But I just can't do it until you are tall like a man. Just for once in your life, if you can be a man, walk tall, walk tall, walk Can you do it? Can you put her out of your heart? Are you strong enough? Can you do it? Can you put her out of your heart? Are you strong enough?
group called the Two of Clubs. Two of Clubs, October 1968. I can't, no, wait, 66. You know, I just got new glasses. It's too dark in here. I can't see. I mix up my 6s and my 8s. October 66 on the fraternity record label, the Two of Clubs. My copy says Walk Tall. I featured it on a promo on the fraternity label. There's an alternate title, Walk Tall Like a Man. And I've seen those copies, but I don't know if I've seen a promo copy of that. So I have to say, I have seen the Walk Tall on the stock copy. So I don't know what they did. Maybe they added the Like a Man later on. But anyway, well, let's send that one out to the birthday boy. We got to say happy birthday to Byron Dick, celebrating. Byron, do you want me to say it? You typed it in the Top Shelf Oldies chat, but Brian's celebrating actually a milestone birthday today. So we want to wish happy birthday to Byron listening out in California. And we'll send that next one out to, we'll send that 45 out to Byron. Let's continue here. This next singer-songwriter from Jacksonville, Florida, probably best known for a big number 4 hit he had on the Ode record label. You may know the tune San Francisco, Wear Some Flowers in Your Hair, but his real name was Philip Wallach Blondheim, if I said that right. But he recorded as Scott McKenzie. Now, before those Ode 45s, he was signed to Capitol Records, and let's give a listen to his second on Capitol. It's a song he wrote from September 1965. Give a listen to Scott McKenzie on the Capitol label. The tune is called Wipe the Tears, parentheses, from Your Eyes.
Look at me that way, baby. You shouldn't really be surprised. I've told you everything from the very start, so wipe the tears from your eyes.
That's before his releases on the Ode label. That's on the Capitol label. Scott McKenzie, September 65 release, Wipe the Tears, parentheses, from Your Eyes is the name of the tune. Now, his third single on Capitol, he spells his name differently. Instead of M-C-K-E-N-Z-I-E, his third release is M-A-C. Mackenzie. Unfortunately, he passed away August 18th of 2012 at the age of 73 from Guillain-Barré syndrome. But we remember him here on the Vinyltreasure show as we continue here. And this next group, they are from Cleveland, Ohio. They formed in 1964 when when Ray Miller, I guess, is who formed the group, was previously in a group called Joey and the Continentals, and also a member of Tom King and the Starfires, recruited other members of other groups like Steve Popovich from the Savoys and Dennis Samsa from the Wailers and Randy Brown from the Sensations, and added a new group member, Tony Liotta, and they recorded as the Twilighters. They did 2 releases on the Bell label and 2 on Imperial. Let's give a listen to their first. This one produced by Bill Justice, and this one charted number 13 on WKYC in Cleveland, Ohio. We go back to July 1965 for a group called the Twilighters on Bell. Their tune is called Be Faithful. That group called the Twilighters. The Twilighters from July 65. It's on the Bell label. You know I hate styrene for various reasons, but the Twilighters there, excuse me, with their tune called Be Faithful. Let's continue now, and I don't have much info on this next singer. This appears to be his only release. It came out on the MGM label, and I'm featuring the intended B-side of his 45. His name is Mike Constance, Konstan. I spelled it wrong. Yeah, Kon, Mike Constan. And he co-wrote this tune with Larry Cusick, who produced the record along with Richie Adams. Now, of course, Richie Adams, he was a former lead of the Fireflies and had some cool solo releases on his own. So that was what kind of lured me to this record here. But let's give it a spin from October 1966 on MGM. Mike Constan, Konstan. The song is called This Time.
This time, if I give my heart to you,
time, forget about the past, and we'll build a love to last. This time.
October 66 release there for Mike Constan on the MGM record label, is song entitled This Time. And I have a cough drop in my mouth as Johnny G babbles on here. So let's continue here. We are just about in Vinyl Treasure overtime, so we will continue a little bit here. Now, this next group was from Brooklyn, New York. They were recording as the Conquests back in 1966 and recorded a tune called Beg, Borrow, and Steal. But beknownst to them, it was never released until one day they started hearing it on the radio, on New York radio. And when they heard that, the DJ announced the group as the Rare Breed. And they were like, wait a minute, what's going on here? We don't know anything about this record here. But evidently, this record gets released on the Attack label. There's actually a video. If you go to 45 Cat under the Rare Breed and you look up their tune Beg, Borrow, and Steal, it's a pretty cool video. It's short. It's about, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes or so. But they're the two surviving members of the group, the lead singer and I think the keyboardist, and they actually sing the song and they give a little story about it, but they never go into anything else. But anyway, the lead singer, his name is John Franco, and the song did quite well in some markets, and the producers of this record, which were Jerry Castanets and Jeffrey Katz, they would later bring this song to Cameo, where it was remastered and re-released on the Cameo label as the Ohio Express. But in reality, this group was known as the Conquests. But I'm featuring it on the Attack label, which was a request for Evan Blatt. So this is for Evan, the Rare Breed from April 66, on the Attack label, the original version of the song Beg, Borrow, and Steal.
You threw me out the night before last, and now you want me back in your arms again. You think I'm a fool, you treat me like dirt, you pull the string and hope I will be your friend. But I know what's on your mind, so I'd rather stay out
April 66 release there by request for Evan Blatt, The Rare Breed. Rare Breed there, John Franco, he's the lead singer. Beg, Borrow, and Steal is the name of the tune on the Attack record label. Beg, Borrow, and Hi-Fi Tim Steal is the name of the tune. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening as we continue here. For this next group, they hail from, did I say this right, Daryl? Shamokin, 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 Pennsylvania. And 7-piece combo that happens to be their only release. Came out on the Cameo record label. The tune written by Cal Mann and Dave Appel. The lead singer on this goes by the name of Fritz Dabulius, Dabulius, and the group is called D Cool with a K. Pretty cool name. D Cool and the Casuals with a K. And this one charted number 36 on WARM in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. See, Reed, I said it right this time. Anyways, from April 65, give a listen to D Cool and the Casuals on the Cameo label. It's called She's Good to Me.
Everybody warn me, she's bad. Everybody warn me, she's bad. Whoa, but they don't understand how the touch of her hand can drive me mad. But she's good to me. Oh, but she's good to me. Told me of the teasing, she's bad. But I know the reason, she's bad. Just a kid, there were things that she did, my baby's bad. But she's good to me. Oh, but she's good to me. She's good to me. Oh, she's good to me. She gives me everything I need. She's good to me. Oh, she's good to me. I don't care what the people say. I'm gonna love her anyway. Oh, but this I'm certain of, she's the only true love I've ever had. But she's good to me. Oh, but she's good to me. She's good to me. Oh, she's good to me. I don't care what the people say. I'm gonna love her anyway. Everybody warn me, she's bad. Everybody warn me, she's bad. Whoa, but they don't understand how the touch of her hand can drive me mad. But she's good to me. Oh, but she's good to me. She's bad. But she's good to me. She's bad. But she's good to me. She's bad. But she's good to me.
I sense a foreign accent on that lead singer. Did it sound like a foreign accent to you? His name, I'm sorry, folks. His name is Fritz Dabulius. No, Dabulius. And I'd hear an accent on that. Pretty cool record by D Cool and the Casuals, April 65 on the Cameo record label. She's Good to Me is the name of the tune. Let's continue here in Vinyltreasure Overtime. Now, on the last 60's show, I featured the A-side of this 45. Came out on the Bullet label. The group was called Nobody's Children, a cool cover of the Evie Sands tune, I Can't Let Go. And this group out of Bethesda, Maryland. The B-side is an original composition by the group. It features Dennis Boone on lead. And I don't know, Byron, usually when we get older, we kind of feel like crying. Although, I don't know, it's celebration, I think, when you get to a milestone birthday. So we're going to send this one out to Byron on his birthday, listening in California, and we had problems on the by the way, on the Winamp. They were saying that there was some problems with Winamp, so a lot of people have gone to the YouTube broadcast. So anyway, but this is from February 68, Nobody's Children on the Bullet label. The song is called Don't You Feel Like Crying?
When you call your baby on the phone and she tries to tell you she's alone, don't you feel like crying? 'Cause you know she's lying. Don't you feel like crying? 'Cause you know that it's not so. And then when she whispers in your ear all the words of love you like to hear, don't you feel like crying? 'Cause you know she's lying. Don't you feel like crying? 'Cause you know that it's not so. But if you tell her that you're leaving today, you'll only come back, you can't stay away. What's the sense of you leaving or trying? You can't win, so get used to trying. Even though she says that she'll be true, promise that she'll love no one but you. Can't you see she's lying? And she'll leave you crying. You'll be left there crying. Wait and see. She did it to me. 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 She did it to me.
B-sides here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. That's Nobody's Children with a song called Don't You Feel Like Crying. The A-side of that, I Can't Let Go, February 68 release on the Bullet label. Dennis Boone, he's the lead singer on that. We are in Vinyl Treasure Overtime. Let's continue here. Up next, a request for listener Emnon. Now, I'm sure many of you are familiar with Otis Redding and Carla Thomas's song called Tramp. Came out on the Stax label in April of 1967. Was a big number, well, I say 25 Billboard, hit number 2 on the R&B, but Emnon requested the original version, which didn't do as well. It was released in November of 1966, made it up to 52 on Billboard, 5 on the R&B, and a number 1 record on KNOK in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas, and actually a number 1 record also on KATZ in St. Louis, Missouri. It was written by Jimmy McCracklin and the lead singer, Lowell Fulsom, by request for Emnon. November 66, Lowell Fulsom on the Kent label, the original version of Tramp for Emnon.
Tramp. You can call me that. I don't wear continental clothes, studs and hats, but I'm a lover. Mama was, Papa too. I'm the oldest child. Loving is all I know to do. Call me country. Right from the woods. I'll answer when you call me. Oh, baby, I mean, that if it makes you feel good. But I'm just a lover. Mama was. Papa too. But I'm not a child. Loving is all I know to do. Now, whatever you call me, I'll even go for that. 'Cause I keep a fat bankroll in my pocket, baby. You know I own 3 Cadillacs. 'Cause I'm just a lover. Mama was. Papa too. I'm the oldest child. Loving is all I know to do.
As by request for Amnon there, Lowell Fulsom there, the original version of the tune Tramp on the Kent label, November 1966. That was his 10th of 20 releases on the Kent record label. You collect Kent records, they're heavy. Those boxes, if you put them by label, they're heavy, those Kent 45s. Johnny G here, babbling on. We are in Vinyl Treasure Overtime. And up next, this dancer, singer, actress, and sex symbol of the 1960s and 70s was also the younger sister of WCBS-FM DJ Dick Heatherton. I used to hear him on CBS-FM. He used to say all the time, "A Tale of Galloping Woe," when it used to be one of those sad records. But this gal, best known for her TV appearances and her unforgettable films. She had 2 unforgettable films. You remember these classics? My Blood Runs Cold from 1965, and in 1977 she did a 4-star movie that I'm sure Dave the Rave has a video on. It's called The Happy Hooker Goes to Washington. But she released a few pretty cool 45s, actually pretty good 45s on the Coral, Decca, and MGM record labels. Of course, here's one I have by her on the Decca label, and it's really an all-star lineup, so you would wonder why this record wasn't a monster hit, because the writers of this song are David White, Johnny Madera, Leon Huff, and Len Barry, and it was arranged by Jimmy Wisner. So what went wrong with this record? This should have been a big #1 hit. Anyway, this was from May 1966. Give a listen to Joey Heatherton. Joey Heatherton on the Decca label. It's called When You Call Me Baby.
Sugar
Joe. Whoops. I left my mic on. I hope you didn't hear me cursing. No, I did not. I got to make sure I turn my microphone off with my coughs and whatnot. I apologize if you heard any coughs. That's May 1966. That's Joey Heatherton. I think that's really an in-demand record, if I'm not mistaken. When You Call Me Baby on the Decca record label. That was really an all-star lineup that wrote that song. Really, you'd think it would be a bigger hit. I think they had a picture sleeve and everything with her on this record. I don't have the picture sleeve. I'm sure Dave the Rave has the picture sleeve. He'll show you tomorrow. Actually, should have lent it to me. I would have showed you. Anyway, Johnny G continuing here in Vinyltreasure Overtime. Up next, a group from Los Angeles, California. This is their first release. Came out on the Uptown record label. I think this is a subsidiary of Tower Records. This features John Gibson on lead. This is arranged by George Tipton, produced by Eddie Ray. We go to August of 1965. Give a listen to the Intentions here on the Uptown label with a song entitled One Word. It's called Time.
Can make a city stumble, but while our hearts are young and gay, let our love go on this way. It's written down in history that time can destroy. We'll always be together, moments to enjoy. Love you, together we will be. Always. No matter how long, forever, eternally. We have a lifetime ahead of us. We'll build a paradise, loving each other, just as long as there's down in history that time can destroy. We'll always be together, moments to enjoy. I'll always love you, together we will be. No matter how long, forever, eternally.
Yes, Reed. Great two-sided 45 there by the Intentions. August 65 on the Uptown record label, song entitled Time. They would have one more release. I think came out on the Kent label in 1968 before they changed their name to the Inspirations with a recording on the Breakthrough label. We are in Vinyltreasure Overtime here, and we head to Chicago, Illinois for this next group and lead singer. The lead singer on this was previously a member of the Five Echoes that recorded for the Sabre and VJ record label in the 1950s. His name was Walter Spriggs, and he had some solo releases that came out on Blue Lake and Atco Records, but he also recorded under the name of Ray Scott, and the singles followed on Antler and Tri-S and Randy and the label that I'm featuring, the Decca label. In December of 1966, he had this release as Ray Scott and the Scotsmen. It's the first of three on Decca, a song he co-wrote with Jesse Stone. We go back to December of 1966 on the Decca record label, Ray Scott and the Scotsmen with a song called Right Now.
You are such a goodie, made
too. You got me hung up way out on a limb. You took my heart for a loving cup, then filled it to the brim. That's how you made me love you. Did me so much good. I can't hide what I feel inside, and I'd sure get you if I could. I've got some wildest wishes, makes me vicious, baby. Right now I feel like taking you out of sight, where I'll show you how to love me right. Don't make me beg you, put your trust in me. I've got for you lots of love that's true. I'll prove it, wait and see. How can you make me suffer, baby? Let me hurt this way. This desire sets my soul on fire. Won't you do for me what I say? Come on, don't fight me, baby. Try me, baby. Goodness, right now I feel as sharp as a butcher knife. I ain't felt such a loving in all my life. Right now, please, baby, show enough for need you, baby. Oh, baby. Right now, baby.
That's the first of three on the Decca label for Ray Scott and the Scotmen, December 66. It's called Right Now. And right now, Johnny G continuing with some Vinyltreasure overtime. And I don't have much info on this next group. And it's not an easy 45 to find. Came out on Ben Smith's Tar X or Tarks label. In the 1950s, he owned Extra and another label he called a label similar to Tarks was Triode Records. And this group actually called the Strands. They have an earlier release on the Triode label in June of 62. It was called Never, a 45 which I have. That tune, Never, written by Wesley Aydlet, Aydlettt, who also wrote this tune. So maybe Ray is a member of the group. I don't know, but we're going to send this one out, special request to Dave the Rave, because I know he loves this tune from 1965. These are the Strands on the Tarks or Tar X record label. The song is called The Breeze from the Trees, going out to Dave the Rave.
You left me crying all alone and blue. You thought that I was gonna sit around and waste my tears over you. But let me tell you now, you didn't take the sunshine away. You didn't take the hours from today. Let me tell you now, you didn't take the breeze from the trees. You didn't take the breeze from the trees. You did the best thing in this world for me when you said goodbye. You gave me a chance to kiss the girl with the apple of my eye. And let me tell you now, you didn't take the sunshine away. You didn't take the hours from the day. Let me tell you now, you didn't take the breeze from the trees. You didn't take the breeze from the trees. Come on, we got a thing going on now. 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 Sing the song, little children. Sing the song, little children. Come on and sing the song, little children.
got Johnny G getting caught here. That's we're going to send that one out to Dave the Rave. Special request by the Strands, 1965, on the Tarks record label. The Breeze from the Trees. It's been very breezy and cold the last couple days here. How the temperature has changed, really. We had some hot weather here, but it's going to be rainy, I think, tomorrow again. So anyway, let's continue here. And on last month's 1960 show, I featured a girl group called the Fabulettes on the Monument record label. Remember what I said earlier in the show about Ray Stevens? Well, he produced and arranged this song, actually both sides of the record. Last week I featured the tune Mr. Policeman, these gals from Miami, Florida. Now this is the B-side, which I think is also pretty good. It features Annette Snell on lead. We go back to September 1965. These are the Fabulettes on the Monument record label. Their tune is called The Bigger They Are, The Harder They Fall.
The bigger they are, the harder they fall. And when they fall, they sure look small. You're always making a fool out of me. In front of my friends for everyone to see. You make me so mad, you make me so sad. And when you fall, I'll be glad. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. And when they fall, they sure look small. Every time I start to leave you, somehow you convince me to stay. You promise you'll change, but honey, that'll be the day. When some other girl cuts you down to size, then maybe you realize the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And when they fall, they sure look small. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. When they fall, they sure look small. The bigger they are, the harder they fall.
B-sides here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. The Fabulettes there, September 65 release on the Monument record label. The Bigger They Are, parentheses, the harder they fall. Annette Snell, she's on lead. Now, prior to this release, the group recorded as the Marvels on the Butane record label. We continue here again in overtime. We go back to Detroit, Michigan, as this group was named after a local restaurant in Detroit. They signed with Rick Tick Records back in 1967 for 6 releases. This was their first on the Rick Tick label. First release, by the way, July 1967 as Rick Tick 129 as an A-side, and then it was re-released as a B-side to their third single. The A-side of that was called Mama. Hey Mama, what you got for Daddy? Johnny G's not playing that, but we're going to flip that third release over, even though it's the group's first release. It features Jerry Plunk on lead. He was also the drummer of the group. Let's give a listen to the Flaming Embers here. The Flaming Embers, September 67 release on the Rick Tick label. The song is called Let's Have a Lovin', parentheses, 'cause everybody needs love.
Everybody needs love. Everybody, everywhere, has got some love in their hearts to share. Let's get together in harmony.
They're called the Flaming Embers there of September 67 on the Rick Tick record label. Let's Have a Love in parentheses because everybody needs love. I remember when I bought their first two 45s on the Hot Wax label. It was a Westbound number 9, and then the other record I bought in the record store was Somebody's Been Sleeping in My, what is that, early 70s maybe for the group? But I have those 45s that I originally bought in the record store. Johnny G babbling on here in Vinyltreasure Overtime. Let's continue here. This is the debut single for this trio of sisters from Washington, D.C. They are Ayanna, Avis, and Mia Harrell. Collectively, they were known as the Fawns. Their debut single came out first on the New Frontiers label in June of 1967. It was then picked up by Cap City that October. So some of you may own this on the Cap City label, but I'm featuring it on the first press. It features Ayanna Harrell on lead. This charted number 7 on WIGO in Atlanta, Georgia. We go back to June of 1967. Give a listen to the Fawns on the New Frontiers label and their tune called Wish You Were Here With Me. June 1967, released there by the Fawns. Ayanna Harold on lead there on the New Frontiers record label, Wish You Were Here With Me. That really is my tribute record for Memorial Day, as we remember those that have died for our freedom, and I've mentioned in there Vietnam there, and that was a very difficult time back then, even for the other wars that followed that, for the people that have given their life for our freedom. But that is what Memorial Day is all about. It's not really for the holidays and for the barbecues and everything else like that, the fun that we like to be off, of course, but it is to thank and remember those people that have died for our freedom. And that is an appropriate record. Thank you for saying that, Reed, in the chat room, and also for Byron in the Top Shelf Oldies chat. And those were the Fawns. And they had 2 more releases on the Cap City record label. They also have another one that I have on Tech, T-E-C, I think. And also on RCA Records, they have a couple also in the 1970s. Let's continue here in Vinyl Treasure Overtime. Just a few more here. I want to at least get this Blossoms in. My last request for a couple of listeners wanted to hear a flip side from my 50s show. But anyway, this next group, they formed while attending Marshall High School in Chicago. First recorded for the OK record label back in 1963, but later signed with Brunswick Records in 1966. They had 16 releases between 1966 and 1973. Here is the A-side to their third. It features Tommy Green on lead. This charted number 100 on the Cashbox survey, number 69 on Billboard, 28 on the R&B charts, but a big number 2 record on WDAS in Philadelphia, PA. We go back to February 1967. These are the Artistics on Brunswick. Their tune is called Girl, I Need You.
Trying to recover. Our love was good until I had to discover that you went away, and now he's your lover. But girl, I need you. Girl, I need you. I got to have you in my arms. Hey girl, I love you. I got to have all of your sweet charms. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Would you believe? Hey girl, you're so fine. My time is your time. Though you're no good for me, I want you by my side. And oh, for your love, I'd forget my pride. Turn my back on my friends and won't listen to what they say. I got to have your love any old way. Hey girl, I need you. I got to have you in my arms. Hey girl, I love you. I got to have all of your sweet songs. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Can't live without you. Would you believe? I love every little thing about you. I'm a fool, I must admit, 'cause your sweet love I just can't forget. I can't explain what you do to me. All I know is that I just can't let you be. There's no need trying to deny it. To get you. 'Cause my heart just won't let me buy it. Girl, I need you. Got to have you.
Those are the Artistics. That's my aunt's original 45, by the way, by the Artistics there in February 67 on the Brunswick record label, the Artistics with Girl, I Need You. I get a notification from YouTube, heads up. They gave me a problem the last time I did my 60s show. They shut down my video. I had too many copyright strikes. So I think I'm going too long for them because I was on. It was, I think, 3 hours and 44 minutes the last time I was on. So I don't want to take I don't want to take a chance that they're not going to let this one play. So that's going to do it for Johnny G and the Vinyl Treasure Show because I've been on too long. And I think I have like limitations to be on based on the number of subscribers I have. I have to have more subscribers to be on longer. So they kind of let the other one through. So I don't want to really take the chance. So thank you all for tuning in tonight. It's not like I have endless hours to go, but I'm afraid. I really am afraid that I don't want to stay on. But anyway, thank you all for tuning in to the Vinyl Treasure Show. And I'm kind of discombobulated because I wasn't ready to close out tonight. But that's going to do it. If you want to get in touch with me, you can send me an email at vinyltreasures@aol.com. You send me your requests. If I have the 45s, I will feature them for you. Also, you can go to my YouTube account, Johnny G's Vinyl Treasure Show. You can watch the show. Hopefully it'll be up. Or you can go to my website, vinyltreasures.net. I definitely will post the show there. So at least if it's not on YouTube, you can go there to listen to the show or download it. You can do that. But that's going to do it, folks. Tonight I want a quick exit here and tune in tomorrow evening for my buddy Dave the Raven, his Relics and Rarities show. Dave will be on from 9 to midnight tomorrow. He may be doing some extra overtime. So you might as well come in. I can stay up late. I don't have work on Monday, but it'll be a thrill if Dave can be on later. He'll see how it goes. But again, tune in for my buddy tomorrow, Dave the Rave, all the 60s on Dave the Rave show. Similar to tonight, Dave has me beat on some of those cool records. But anyway, he'll be on tomorrow. Please tune into my buddy Dave. And that's going to do it tonight. Want everybody to have a safe and happy week. Thank you, Charlene, for all your help as we remember the fallen that have given us our freedoms, as we remember them for Memorial Day. Thank you all for tuning in. Our closer tonight, I forgot to tell you what it is. The closer tonight is by The Blossoms. It's a great tune. It's actually a B-side. Darlene Love is on lead, and the A-side was a nice version of Soul and Inspiration, but I like the flip better. A tune produced by Bill Medley, and this one from May 1969. It's on the Bell label. These are the Blossoms, their first of 4 on Bell, with Darlene Love on lead. The tune is called Stand By. And that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Again, a quick exit because I saw the copyright stuff. So that's going to do it, folks. Everybody be safe, be well. I'll see you next Saturday as we go back to 50s and early 60s. I may be on earlier. I may be on Monday. We'll see. So make sure you subscribe to the Vinyl Treasure Show to get notifications. I'll be on. I'll spin some records. Maybe I'll finish these. Maybe I'll finish these tomorrow or Monday. So please subscribe to the website, to my YouTube page. You'll get your notifications. Maybe we'll play the rest of the 60s stuff. Anyway, just want to say, everybody, so long. Thanks again, Charlene, for all your help. These are the Blossoms. Stand by.
There he goes, walking with her, wearing the smile he wore when he used to be mine. I know that he'll run to my side the minute she tells him goodbye. Stand by. I know I'm a fool. there.